lovely people, and welcome back to our top 10 series where we give you super cool, awesome top 10 list. I'm Court McGinley. Now today we have a frightening list coming your way. This is the top 10 best horror movies. Now I'm well aware everyone has a different opinion when it comes to horror movies. What your friends find terrifying, you might not. It all depends on what scares you. Everyone has their own fear, whether it's dolls, clowns, serial killers, creepy kids, or if you're like me, you can't handle killers and masks. Yeah, I just don't even get me started on The Purge. So today I've compiled a list of horror movies that pretty much everyone can agree are the best, and there's a wide range when it comes to the scare factor. Now obviously there are hundreds of horror movies out there, so not all of them could be on this list. Also, I'm going to be discussing these movies, obviously, so there's going to be spoilers. But before we get started, I want to know, what is your favorite horror movie and why? Let me know your answers down in the comments. Alright, let's get started. In our number 10 spot, we have The Orphan. This movie literally has one of the creepiest, most messed up twists I have ever seen. And throughout the whole movie, you never see it coming. In this 2009 movie, a couple tragically miscarries their unborn child. Struggling to regain some sort of normalcy, they decide to adopt a child. When visiting the orphanage, they are drawn to a little girl named Esther. Once they bring her home, a bunch of alarming events begin to take place, which makes the mother believe something is wrong with Esther and that she's not who she appears to be. Concerned for their family's safety, she tries to get her husband and kids to see what's really going on. If creepy kids scare you, then this might not be the best movie for you. But I'd say watch it anyway because the twist is just so good. In our number 9 spot, we have Strangers. This movie came out in 2008, and if you're terrified of masks like I am, then you will definitely be covering your eyes throughout half of this movie. I literally told my fiance if he ever puts on a mask in an attempt to scare me, then we are done. That's how much I cannot do masks. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you guys one of my biggest fears. Love you guys. But moving on, this movie is about a young couple who are on the verge of breaking up, but they are spending one last night in their family's vacation home. Soon they are visited by a family of 3 masked strangers that are out to kill them. In our number 8 spot, Children of the Corn. If freaky little killer children scare you, then this movie, it's not for you. It came out in 1984 and it's based off a Stephen King novel. In this movie, a physician and his girlfriend drive across the Midwest to his new job. Once they are almost there, they find a body of a murdered boy on the road. The couple tries to contact the authorities and they wander into a small town. Soon enough, they realize that this town is populated only by children. And these aren't cute, friendly kids. Oh no, they're crazy little killers. Soon the couples find themselves fleeing when the kids try to sacrifice them. Coming in our number 7 spot, Halloween. This movie is iconic and it came out in 1978. This movie is a part of an American horror franchise that consists of 10 films. This movie takes place on Halloween night of 1963, where 6-year-old Michael Myers stabs his sister to death. After sitting in a mental hospital for 15 years, he escapes the night before Halloween and returns to his old neighborhood to kill. Meanwhile, Laurie, who is played by a very young Jamie Lee Curtis, is a serious student who is stuck babysitting on this night. She's babysitting a neighbor's kid, but little does she know the danger that is headed her way. In our number 6 spot, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974. However, since then there have been several remakes. This movie is equally gory as it is scary. In this movie, 2 teenage siblings along with 3 other friends are driving on the outback roads of Texas to go visit their grandfather's grave. They pick up a creepy hitchhiker who kills himself and one of their friends. Then they end up at a home of a murderous cannibalistic family. This family is made up of a leather-masked chainsaw-wielding maniac, his knife-wielding grave robber brother, and their cannibal chef father. And you know, their decaying grandfather. Shortly after being released, this film actually got banned in several countries because it was deemed too disgusting. Also, in order to generate excitement for the movie, the marketing team promoted this as a true story. But this backfired on them and they ended up having a lot of people leaving halfway through the movie out of fear. Moving on to our number 5 spot, Annabelle. If you're scared of true stories and creepy dolls, then this 2014 movie is not for you. This movie is a prequel to The Conjuring and it's about a couple who begins to experience terrifying supernatural occurrences involving a vintage doll. Shortly after, their home is invaded by satanic spirits, so they call Ed and Lorraine Warren to help them. Now, creepy dolls are one thing. The doll in this movie is portrayed as looking much creepier than the actual doll, seeing as the actual haunted doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. But like I said, this movie is actually based on a true story. Ed and Lorraine are real people who help with paranormal investigations. If you guys want, you can actually visit the real-life haunted Annabelle doll. It is located in Ed and Lorraine's Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. However, tours are currently limited, as they are only given during an intimate event called Warrenology. And at number 4, The Conjuring. This movie came out in 2013 and it was marked one of the scariest movies of all time. And it's based off of a true story involving Ed and Lorraine again. This movie takes place in 1971, where the Perron family moves into a new home. All of a sudden, strange things start to happen, which evolve into a living nightmare. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren are contacted to examine the house. The Warrens discover that the whole land is covered with a satanic haunting, and they are targeting the Perron family wherever they go. After watching this movie, the real-life Andrea Perron said that The Conjuring is a fair reflection of the chaos and danger the family faced on the farm. She says there are liberties taken and a few discrepancies, but overall it is what it claims to be. And at number 3, Poltergeist. This movie came out in 1982 and it's definitely a classic creepy horror movie. If you're into horror movies and you haven't seen this one, then you need to make sure you check it out. In this movie, a young family is visited by ghosts in their home. At first, the ghosts, they're not so bad. They just move around some objects which can be passed off as an odd occurrence. However, things soon take a turn for the worst and the ghosts turn nasty and begin to terrorize the family before they take the youngest daughter. The fact that the evil in this movie is completely faceless just adds to the terrifying feeling you get while watching it. Definitely not a movie you should watch alone. This franchise is said to be cursed due to the amount of real-life deaths that occurred while making this film and shortly afterwards. The actress who played the eldest daughter Dana was murdered at 22 by her abusive boyfriend, and the girl who played the youngest daughter Carol Ann, who was also the main character, died at the age of 12 after complications from a surgery. Coming in at our number 2 spot, It. This movie came out in 1990 and it's based off a Stephen King novel, so as you can tell, it's gonna be extremely scary. This movie is all about a creepy clown who lures children away from safety. These children end up forming a group called the Losers Club, which is a reference to their position as social outcasts. They make a pact to destroy the clown and free themselves from its evil torment. And if you weren't scared of clowns before, after watching this movie, you will be. The movie It actually aired as a mini-series, which is the reason for its almost 3-hour-long running time. Alright, so we talked about some pretty scary movies, but now our number 1 spot is a classic that has traumatized children and adults alike for many years. In our number 1 spot, The Exorcist. This movie came out in 1973 and it's a classic horror movie. And for very good reason. This is basically a story of an innocent girl who becomes possessed by a demon, and her mother contacts a priest who confirms that she is in fact possessed. Then the top priest who can deal with an exorcism is called to help save the girl from the demon inside her. It's based off the terrifying novel written by William Peter Blatty. If you haven't seen this movie yet, then I suggest you wait until you're ready, because you are never gonna get that look of the child's possessed face out of your mind. This movie can terrify even the toughest of horror fans. There are stories of ominous events surrounding the year-long shoot. This included the death of 9 people associated with production. 2 of the actors died before the film was released, and there's a story of a mysterious fire that destroyed the set one weekend. Not to mention all the accidents and injuries that would happen on set while filming. Well, there you guys have it. That's our top 10 list of the best horror movies. Let me know down in the comments what other top 10 lists you would like to see me do in another video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So thank you guys so much for watching. We have other awesome top 10 videos up over here, so feel free to give them a click if you would like. And also you can follow me on Instagram at Court McGinley, or check out my personal YouTube channel, Courtney McGinley Vlogs, and I'll see you guys later.